Zen Topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, and as you read in the title, I got a review for Monster. But before we get to that, we got social medias. Be sure to check those out. They're all in the description box below. And we got Ko-fi accounts if you want to donate some cents or some dollars, help out the channel. It would be greatly appreciated because we struggling. We're starving artists, which is also why we have a Patreon where you get exclusive content from the channel. The Patreon is brand new. We got 3 different tiers. Very cheap. Very affordable. So sign up for that and become a Patreon. But let's get down to brass tacks and let's get to this review for Monster. I gave Monster 6.7 out of 10 Wangs.
Why? 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 Why?
Because a movie like this, I think it's necessary, and I think the director, Anthony Mandler, however you say it, I think he executed the film quite well with his style, but there's nothing to write home to my about. Honestly, it's probably very forgettable. It's a decent watch, but the point of the movie, he did get across very well, and it's just the idea of perspective. It's letting you know what you already know. It's telling you, hey, the justice system is fucked up. Everything ain't always what it seems to be. Everyone has a different perspective on an outlook on life. And when it comes to something that we could all be a part of, which is the jury, you know, you need to understand what's at stake here. And everyone knows that, but this film's saying,
I'm reminding you.
And that's very important. And I think he made an excellent choice in directing this with his music video background, because this film's very young. It feels useful. It feels so modern with the editing, the choppy editing, with the dialogue, with the question answer real quick. That stuff's fantastic. And honestly, that choice of directing style is the best part of this movie. The story, very by the numbers.
You're better than that.
It's unfortunate because this movie, the idea of this movie and what it had to say, it could have been very impactful. It could have been something that stuck with you, like police brutality with Queen and Slim. That film stuck with me. This film, it's like, yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad that I saw that and I was like, you know what? That's a good reminder. But besides that, it's like, what did this film have to offer besides that? A mediocre story, decent dialogue, a good performance with a lot of interesting casting choices. Not saying the acting was bad in this movie, because I thought Calvin Harris Jr. did a fantastic job, but this has a lot of name value in it for the sake of name value, I think. Because you got John David Washington. He's a big star. A$AP Rocky. He's a famous rapper. Nas Escobar. Nasty Nas. Nas. Just shows up. For no reason. You got Jennifer Hudson in this movie. It's like, well, she acts a lot. She's a big name. But for the parts that are given, it's like, was that really necessary? This movie came out in 2018. Netflix, I think it's very smart for them to go back in recent years and buy movies and put them on Netflix like they're brand new, because not a lot of stuff came out because of the pandemic, and these smaller movies that get a stage to shine on. I think that's great. But John David Washington isn't the John David Washington we know today. John David Washington had 3 minutes in this movie. 3 minutes. 3 of them things? And they were a great 3 minutes, but I've seen John David Washington and where he's at as an actor now, and he has so much more to offer than a small 3-minute role. So it felt kind of like a waste. Same thing when I saw Nas. As you can tell, I'm a Nas fan. So when he popped up in the movie, I was like, oh shit, that's Nas. Same thing when I saw A$AP Rocky. I'm like, oh shit, A$AP Rocky's in this movie. I like A$AP Rocky. So when these things popped up, it was more distracting from the story than it was improving the story. So the casting, honestly, probably could have done better and made it more believable. Not saying these performances are bad, just distracting. writing, story, like I said, everything's mediocre. But the editing choices in this film is great. I'm glad this film has something to say. So I'm definitely recommending it. Everyone should watch this movie. It's needed. It's a good watch. Is it something that you're going to remember tomorrow? If this was the 1990s, would you be at the World Water?
What's that?
The World Water. If this was the 90s, would you be at the water cooler telling your friends about it? Probably not. But when it comes to court dramas, it's a good flavor in a genre that is kind of bland, which I appreciate because I love court dramas. So at the end of the day, I think it's solid. I'm glad it was made. It has a place in film, which is why I gave it a 6.7 out of 10 Wangs. Tell me what you thought about Monster down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.